but I was on your Instagram, right? And I
Yeah.
saw something, and you said 3,000 designs, and I was like, what?
I actually
Was it?
have 13,900 designs right now. Yeah.
Welcome to T-Shirt Help Desk Interviews. Today's guest, Juna from Detour Shirts.
So, what's up, guys? I have a really great show for you today. I think this is my first interview that I'm having someone here. So, Mr. Juna, you are my first guest
Nice.
being interviewed on my channel right here. So we have Juna from Detour Shirts. He is a print on demand guru. I know he probably doesn't like that, but really good guy and my first guest here. And Juna, what's up,
Hey,
man? How you
what's
doing?
up?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. First guest. Wow, that's big
Yeah,
privilege.
yeah.
Big privilege.
I think so. I think at this format like this, I think you're
Yeah.
my first guest, man.
Nice. Awesome.
So I have a couple questions
Uh-huh.
for you.
Yeah.
First of all, how
I'm
you
ready.
doing?
Great. I'm doing great. It's
All
good.
right.
Good time of year.
All right. Yes. Yes, indeed. It was warming up a little bit.
Hmm.
Tell me about your start in print on demand. I see the stuff you do. It's amazing. It looks
Yeah.
like you're having a lot of success with it. How did you get into print on demand?
Oh, okay. I actually started print on demand a long, long time ago, back in 2005. So, a business partner and I, we had a small business, small side hustle, and we were actually building websites for people. And then his idea was, which was great, because he was like, "How do we get more income?" And he found these print on demand things. He heard about it way back in 2005, and we started with Cafe Press.
So
Yeah.
hold on now. So this
Uh-huh.
your business partner that you guys were doing print on. You guys were just selling T-shirts, or were you doing print on?
No, well, we were doing print on demand. So at first we did a side business just to create websites for people, back in the
Okay,
day,
okay.
and we weren't getting a lot of clients. So we were trying to think, how can we increase our income? And so we kind of diversified and thought, well, we should do print on demand on the side of our side business. The side business was it, and we found this place called Cafe Press back in
I
2005.
I got to tell you. I remember. I don't even know if they're even still
They,
around, but
they're still around.
wow. I
They're not the
remember.
biggest one anymore, but they were at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, we're dating ourselves because I remember
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. 2005, we put up our first T-shirt, and it took about a week or two to sell. And so I got hooked because, and I think my business partner knew this, is that I loved designing T-shirts even before 2005. I was creating T-shirts as a teenager, creating all kinds of stuff, hand drawn stuff, and
Me
so
too.
I took to it like, like this was the thing. This was my main business now. So I uploaded a ton of T-shirts on Cafe Press over the years, went to their conferences and everything. Fast forward to 2017, Amazon had their print on demand, created their print on demand. Well, they created it in 2015, but it wasn't until 2017 that I got on. It was called Merch by Amazon. You can see it up here. It's
Hmm.
now called Amazon Merch on Demand. They made a change, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I got on there, took all the designs that I made over the years since 2005 on Cafe Fresh, pushed it to Amazon because you can do that, and it got me started really quick. But yeah, now I've been doing it for a long time now, since 2017, and Amazon's now my biggest print on demand. I'm still on Cafe Press, Zazzle, TeePublic, Redbubble, all of those other ones, but Amazon by far is my biggest print on demand
Okay.
seller. Yeah.
So in between Cafe Press
Uh huh.
in the 2000s
Uh
and
huh.
2017,
Uh huh.
right? Did you dabble in any of the other things
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
Redbubble?
absolutely. Still on
Yeah.
Redbubble, still on
Okay.
TeePublic. Was on Society 6, but they kind of changed their things now. I'm on Threadless. Spreadshirt was a big one back then
Yeah,
too. So
yeah.
I'm
I was
still
on
on.
Spreadshirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on Spreadshirt.
So you did. So you
I
did
did all
all
of
of.
them.
So you did all of those, and you were generating income. Did you have
Uh-huh.
success with them, or did
Minor
most?
success, very minor success.
Okay.
I think the difference between those and Amazon is that Amazon is such a big player. They got so much organic traffic, and it can handle, thousands and thousands of designs that I have. So I think it just made it a lot easier. And I didn't really take it serious until I saw the kind of income that Amazon could do. And I'm like, okay, I'm all in. Because before it was just a side hobby with
Uh-huh.
Redbubble. I was getting $100, $200 at a time. But when I started making thousands of dollars with Amazon, I'm like, oh, this is serious. So I pushed a lot more. I pushed a
Ding
lot
ding.
harder. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
which brings me to the next thing. All right.
Yeah.
So when you got on 2017, you got on
Uh-huh.
Merch by Amazon, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
now you're like a master, you're guru, you're doing great
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
What was that thing where you went from uploading, right, to like what did you do to start bringing success? What was the thing that you started doing, and what tools did you use to put your stuff out there to start getting sales?
So the two major things that I think was different than what I did before was um, I was listening to people on how to do this. Right there are a lot of videos out there back in 2017 on how to create a better income with merch by Amazon. So I was listening to that, and one of the things they said was look on there and see what's selling and design for the customer. Whereas before, I really didn't do that. I just threw up designs that I liked.
Uh-huh.
So designing for the customer and figuring out what sells on, in this case, Amazon, but you should do it for whatever print on demand site you're on. So you can go in there, look at the BSRs, which is the bestseller rank, and kind of see what are people buying on Amazon, and then make more of those things. So if there's a trend or whatever during that time, so like right now, it just passed St. Patrick's Day was huge on Amazon. So if you did a lot of St. Patrick's Day stuff and got the right phrase that not on there. I made a lot of St. Patrick's Day sales, but there's lots of other things like that not necessarily like holidays, but other trends that could come up. The second thing is just to push a massive amount of designs onto Amazon. So that was my second thing that was the change, because before I was just kind of putting one design, two designs a week, because it was just a small side hustle and I just did it creatively and I wasn't trying to use it to support my family or make a giant income. But once I saw that this actually works on Amazon, I'm like, I'm all in, and like kind of pushed all my chips in, and like I'm gonna push 50 designs a week or whatever it takes to get to the next level. So I was pushing a lot more designs than I used to.
Okay. So there are so how would one figure, because I was working with now I can't even think of it, but there's a company, I think Merch Research or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Merch Research, and like if you're saying the person find out what sells,
Hmm.
what tools can they use, right? Because a lot of people
Yeah.
don't know about these different tools that
Yeah.
you can go in on you can put them on your browser and stuff like
Hmm.
that. What are
Hmm.
some of the tools that a person can use? Because research is big, guys.
It's
What
huge. Yeah.
what are some of the tools that a person
So
can
at
use?
first I was going really cheap, free. So there's this plugin, Google or Chrome plugin called um, DS DS Amazon. I can't remember it at the time, but
Yeah,
you can
I
go
have
find
it.
it. Oh, you're
Yeah.
good. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So you can look at the
But
BSRs
but
on there.
I don't want to take up time, but it's DS something, and you can when you
Yeah,
go on Amazon,
we'll
it'll
put a
show
link
you.
in there or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll put a link. But go ahead. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that actually shows you what I uploaded it a long time ago, so I don't remember what it is now. But I think it's DS Amazon Quick View or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you can see the BSRs of the things on Amazon. So you could actually do a research, like let's say St. Patrick's Day, like we talked about,
Uh-huh.
and then you can see by BSR. The lower the BSR, the higher it's ranked, or the more sales that it's making, pretty much. And so you can see like, oh, these low BSR or designs are doing really well. What's my take on it, or how can I compete with that? How can I create
Mhm.
something that would that customer would also want to buy mine or buy mine instead.
Uh-huh.
You could also use Pretty Merch. There's a plugin for there. There's a free version and there's also a pro version that kind of tells you.
Now say that again. Pretty Merch.
Pretty Merch, yeah,
Pretty
it's a
Merch. Okay.
plugin. Yeah, I have it here on my desktop if we want to show it, but it kind of gives you a nice dashboard. But there's also research tools on there that tell you what the top selling designs are in any category.
Mm-hmm.
There's Merch Informer, which also does
Yes,
kind of the same thing.
That's the one that I've used and I've told people to use. Yeah, Merch
That's a
Informer.
good one too. It has so many different tools in there too. It's actually made by someone who started Merch by Amazon when it started. Does that make sense? Or is using? He's not the one that made Merch by Amazon, but he's a seller.
Early adopter. He used it when it first started. Yeah, gotcha.
And so he knows all about it. And so of course, and then so that one's really relevant because it's made just for Amazon. So that's a Merch Informer. Yeah. So there's other ones out there made for other print on demand sites, but those are the ones that I use. There's other ones out there too. I think Productor and other ones. You just look out there. There's a bunch of things because Merch by Amazon or Amazon Merch on Demand is so popular right now. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of people that also made tools for us to use. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So so we started in 2017.
Correct.
You brought stuff over.
Yeah.
You're using this. You're using these tools, right? Mm-hmm. And you said, okay, let me, as opposed to just putting stuff that I like.
That's right.
Let me see what the people are buying.
That's right.
And let me do my version of it. Now, I'm going to tell you, as you know, the T-shirt guy. You know, I tried Merch by Amazon, right?
You did.
I do print on demand stuff, but I do it via Shopify. Like I'll start a brand, and I'll have the print on demand companies like Printful, Printify, ship, and I do it like that. But but that's a whole lot more work.
Yeah, that's a different. It works, and it can work really well. People do really well with that. But the difference between that is you're going to have to drive traffic to your Shopify store, right? Where in this case, you don't necessarily need to drive traffic because Amazon, people go there to shop already. They have the customers. You just need to get a good thing in front of those customers, something they want to buy. So that's the difference. Is that now that Amazon has the customers, give them something that they would want to buy.
Now, Juna, that's what I thought, right?
Yes.
Because I was doing it that way, and I said, "Well, hell, let me go do it." And I'm going somewhere with this because I thought that would be better than doing it the other way because there's a lot of moving parts. You got to make things connect. You have to build an audience. You have to get people to your website. You have to build trust. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things but I had a lot of bit more success on that side than on Merch by Amazon. And the reason why, and I'm about to ask your advice on this, the reason why is because I was putting up things and I was getting a sale here, a sale there, but I never really got that windfall of something. Right. So what is now that we know what would you say to a person like me? I'm totally green. I'm coming in and I'm like, dude, you're like, you're selling like crazy, but I'm not. What am I doing wrong?
So
what would you say to me? What's your advice?
My advice would be do more of what's working. So in Shopify case, like you can find a good thing and then use advertising to get that one going. In Amazon, it's a little more. It's different. It's more of how many can I put of these different types. So once you find something that's working for you, I would go all in and make 20, 30 more of that. Not that exact same thing, but something that same audience would want to buy, right? So if you find success, for example, and you found one where your zombie t-shirts are working really well and you got a sale on that zombie, how can you take that zombie idea and just make 30 versions of that
and scale? So
scale it.
So when I got the sales that I was getting, right, as opposed to as opposed to, this is really great, guys, as opposed to me going, damn, I just sold one shirt, it should have been like, okay, well, someone's interested. Let
Yep.
me do 5 versions of that. Then I'm going to do 5 more versions of that on top of that. So
That's right.
that one shirt that's sold, once I
Uh-huh.
did that, I should have done, depending on what tier I'm on, I
Mhm.
should have done 10 to 20 more versions of that thing that
Mhm.
sold, and
Mhm.
just let those be beacons. And if that sells, do more version of, is that what we're
That's
saying?
right. That's right. Yeah. So then you do that, and on the side you do some other new things, right? So that you're basically fishing and trying to figure out like what's working for you on there, as
Wow.
well as the trend things too. So once you if you're doing something that's trending and you got something that sold there, then that's an indicator like, oh, you should probably do 10 more of those or 20 more of those. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So it was really cases that I was looking for the one big fish and get all
Yeah.
these sales. But in fact, it's like you got to bring in a whole bunch of like guppies and
Yeah.
tunas and
Yeah.
not tunas, but like minnows and stuff.
Yeah.
And that will feed everybody. So that's
Yeah.
great because,
Yeah.
and
It's
part
more
of,
at scale. It's different than Shopify where you maybe only need like 100 designs. In
uh-huh.
Amazon, you need as many designs as you can. Yeah, it's a scale thing.
Wow. So I think that when you first start off, because it's tiers,
Uh-huh.
when you first start off, I think you can put up 100
10.
shirts,
You can do
10.
10. Yeah, it's so
Okay.
slow. Yeah.
Yeah. So and to me that was just whoa,
Yeah.
that was just way
Yeah, they're
too.
trying to weed out, I think that's they never said this, but my guess is they're trying to weed out and see like do you have the patience for it? Do you have good designs that will sell? So instead of having everybody at tier 1000 where everybody puts in 1,000 designs, they're trying to weed out the ones that are one actually going to keep up with it, and two actually have good designs that are going to sell. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. And part of the reason why I really wanted to talk, you've interviewed me, and I appreciate it. And we were
thank you.
supposed to do this before,
Yeah,
but it was like, I think it was like end of the year, and it was just crazy for me. But I was on your Instagram, right? And I
yeah.
saw something, and you said 3,000 designs, and I was like, what?
I actually
Was it,
have 13,900 designs right now. Yeah,
guys? Did you hear what that man just said? 13, like with that, it's like I
yeah,
had no
yeah.
idea. First of all, I had no idea that was even possible,
Oh
but
yeah,
I had no idea that that was, because I'm seeing these people who are successful. And I'm like, I'm selling
yeah,
one or two or three or four t-shirts, and I'm just like,
yeah.
how can you, and people are saying they quit their job and do that, and I'm like,
Mhm.
how can you live off of that? But I was thinking of it the total wrong way, and I didn't know that it's truly a volume game.
It is.
Amazon
So
is a
imagine
volume game.
this. Imagine this. You have, let's say you have 50 designs out, but you're only making 2 sales, right?
Mhm.
So times that 50, add zeros to it. So 500, 5,000, 50,000. So instead of two, you got 20, 200, 2,000. Like you're just expanding it, right? So this is totally at scale. So whatever you can do with 50 times that by 100, and that's pretty much what the Amazon thing. And by the way, 13,900 is what I have, but I'm not the highest one. I've heard people that have hundreds of thousands of designs out there, hundreds of thousands. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
there's some people in tier 200,000, which means they have more than 100,000 designs on there, right? So it's crazy at scale with AI, with scaling, with all of this stuff. Amazon is able to take all of
Accommodate.
those. Yeah, they can
Yeah.
they can have literally millions and millions of designs. So they just figure out what's the best ones, and of course you see the best ones on page 1 and 2. So the thing that really tough on Amazon versus Shopify, and this is the downside of Amazon is there's tons of competition. Whereas on Shopify, you're not competing with anybody else. You're competing with yourself. When
Yes.
someone comes to your website, they only see your stuff. When somebody comes to Amazon, they may see your stuff, right? Because there's
Yes.
thousands and thousands of competitors out there. So that's why the best strategy is to make something that's better than anybody else out there. You actually have to make something good that people want to buy. You can't just copy what everybody else is doing, because the person that made that first is going to be on page 1. And if you're just a copycat, you're going to be on page 2. So
Crazy.
don't copy. You got to be better. Yeah.
Yeah, and I found that to be the case also. It was like
Yeah.
every time I come up with something, it's like, there's like 1,000 people. It's like Amazon is one of the most copycat places
Oh
I have
yeah,
ever seen in my
absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like
Mhm.
they're making their copywriting, trademarking their
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just crazy on there. You come up with a design, and with all these tools that the pros
Mhm.
use, you come up
Mhm.
with a design and you get a
Yeah.
few sales. Somebody's going to have that design up like
Yeah.
next week.
Oh yeah. If you see
um
a top seller, chances are, you shouldn't do this, but chances are there's going to be a lot of people that copy it, and you're going to see a lot of copycats just to get that other sale, right? So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a good strategy, because one, you could be taken down. Amazon could see that you're just a copycat and take you off, and then you don't have an Amazon account. And
Mhm.
two, you're not going to get a lot of sales doing that, because the one that made it first is going to get the
They're going to have
sales.
top rank, and they're going to
Yeah,
be on the first page and all that
yeah,
stuff. Okay.
yeah.
Great. So we went through, I'm not going to keep you too much long.
Oh, no, fine.
We went through your beginnings,
Uh-huh.
like all of these different designs.
Uh-huh.
So now it comes to the point where I would like to talk about, like, where do you get do you ever, because I was, when I was doing it, I was learning about all these. I went to this website which listed all of these different holidays, and I heard
Uh-huh.
about these holidays that
Yeah.
I never heard of. Like, and it's really, there's something called Pi Day. I had
Yeah.
no
Yeah. Yeah. Just
idea.
happened. Just happened, actually.
Yeah,
3.14. Yeah.
I had no idea that this holiday exists, but this holiday is huge, right?
Yeah. It's huge.
Pi Day. You can explain to them what Pi Day is.
Well, pi, the mathematical whatever number,
Hmm.
um, 3.14, and it keeps going. But so on Pi Day, on March 14th, they celebrate Pi Day because 3.14. And yeah, so a lot of the T-shirts have that pi symbol
Yes,
with something on it.
yes.
So I've made a few of those, and they've sold. It's just creative, and you don't actually necessarily have to sell it on Pi Day, because some people that love math and pi would probably wear it anywhere,
Okay.
anytime. So yeah, that's a big one.
So besides going, and so let me ask you this: do
Uh-huh.
you just go and look and see what people are selling, and you don't copy, but do your version of it, or do you go to these different websites and see what holidays are coming, and you try to
Yeah.
beat?
Actually, I have on my downloads, I have a holiday list that I've made for people. So I have a calendar on my digital downloads that lets you know, okay, it's March, you should be working on these 3 holiday ones. And that's so yeah,
Can
I
I
do.
can I put that link for your
Yeah,
detour? Can I put?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's absolutely free. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put that in this video so you guys can get that. So
Yeah.
so where do you get your, besides the looking at the rankings of what's
Uh-huh.
going on in holidays, where do you get your t-shirt ideas from?
Yeah, so basically 3 places. One, I look at what's trending, not only on Amazon, but Etsy and other places. Two, the holiday things, seeing what comes up. And three, I just like brainstorm is my other one, where I just like, well, let me try this. Because you always want to try something that's not out there, because then you're
Mhm.
going to be the first one to do it.
Yes.
So you want to do that as well. So sprinkle some of those in, just so that you, like I said, if this one takes off and nobody did it and you're the first one, you make 30 more. You're all on page 1, right? So that's just you, because you figured out that it worked before anybody else did, and then you can just go in there and kind of take over that genre, or that topic. So you always want to try something different that's not out there as well, just to see if that works. And those are a lot of those are evergreen designs, are the ones that aren't holidays, but can sell anytime, like outdoors or fishing or whatever. Those can sell at any time, right? So
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you one more print on demand question. Then I want to
Yeah,
ask you a little
please.
bit about YouTube, and then we're
Of
going to
course.
get you out of here.
No
But
worries.
so something that I've seen and I've heard of people doing is niche combining, right?
Yes, mashups. I love those. Yeah, that's a great idea.
So so let's just say it was a pie day, but
Mhm.
it's grandpa, like, or
Yeah.
it's auntie. So tell me about how you would combine niches, nurses on,
Uh-huh.
tell me, explain to the people about, it's not just finding something, but finding a way where you can combine two things and
Yeah.
get that special
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say St. Patrick's Day just happened. So this won't steal anybody's ideas because it's already passed. But let's say St. Patrick's is the holiday, and
Hmm.
you want to make St. Patrick's for nurses because there's lots of nurses and people love. That's a great gift. So you can kind of combine and look for ideas or phrases. Use Chat GPT or whatever AI to come up with a phrase that matches St. Patrick's Day for nurses, or maybe there's some silly pun that works with nurses and St. Patrick's Day. So that's the way you're kind of niching it together or mashing it together, where it's instead of a general St. Patrick's Day T-shirt, you have a specific nurses St. Patrick's Day T-shirt. So when somebody goes on there on Amazon and looks for nurse St. Patrick's Day, yours shows up instead of just a generic St. Patrick's Day. Does that make sense? So yeah,
Well, no,
it's really powerful. Yeah.
yeah, I get it. And I know some people who are having, and heard of some people who are having really
Hmm.
great success with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And my last print on demand question, so that's a nugget, you guys, is
Smash it.
advertising. Do you
Oh,
do any advertising, and is that profitable? And is that a way to beat the other people to the sale?
yeah, that's a great question. So Amazon has their own Amazon ads, and I use that. I don't put it on all mine, but there's tutorials out there on YouTube that show you how to do it. I kind of use it sparingly, and you can go on there and tweak things out and change things. So a lot of times, I like on these St. Patrick's ones that I did. Uh, I knew that people are looking for it, so it's timely, and so I put ads on it. And then so the ads will put you on page one, usually sponsored ads. And so, yeah, you can get the ranking, and you can really watch on Amazon ads if you're spending too much or not. So that's one thing. And the thing I love about Amazon ads versus Facebook ads or something like that is people are already on Amazon looking for the design, and you appear on page one instead
Yeah,
of trying to
yeah,
go to a they get this ad from Facebook and then have to click on there, then go there.
yeah.
So the nice thing about Amazon ads is I think it works a lot better
It's
because they're in the mindset and they're already there
it
shopping.
shows up the Amazon ad as opposed to me just looking on Facebook, looking at my
Yeah.
auntie's, like,
Yeah. You may not be in the right
in the
mindset
mood.
of wanting to buy something right now. But once you're on Amazon, you are ready to buy and you're searching for that specific thing and then your design shows up right on page one. So
And is it profitable? Like, are you spending more money and not making the money back? Like,
no, it's
is it
profitable. You can go in there
okay?
and tweak it. And if it's not profitable, you can turn it off. And if it is profitable, you can add more money to it. It's really cool. So
Awesome.
you can track it and make sure that it's definitely profitable. If it's not, tweak it a little bit so it is, or if it's never profitable, turn it off and try another on a different shirt or whatever. So
Awesome, awesome. So, guys, I hope you learned a lot from this guy, and I'm going to definitely pick when we're off. I'm going to definitely pick his brain because I want to get back into that.
oh
So,
yeah.
in closing,
Uh-huh.
I want to ask you about YouTube. So,
Mhm.
what made you? What made you go? I don't know if you were doing your print on demand stuff, and you said, "Let me tell people about." um
Yeah.
print on t-shirts, or were you here already and said,
No.
let me tell them about what I do on the side? So tell me about how you got into, how you brought all this t-shirt stuff to YouTube.
Okay. So I was doing print on demand stuff in 2017. And then so I wanted to help people learn because I was like, when you find something good, you want to share it. So I started on Instagram and told people like, hey, this is what I do. This is everything. And so my Instagram following grew. And then I thought, wow, how can I help even more people? And I noticed people were doing, like you were doing, YouTube channels and showing people how to do t-shirt designs and how to design and sell t-shirts online and all of that stuff. And so I started my YouTube channel in 2020. Well, I actually pushed it harder in 2020. I tried to do it earlier back in 2018, 2019. It didn't take off. I don't know if you started this way, but I stopped and started and stopped and started. But in 2020, after the pandemic, I'm like, I'm doing this full time. I'm going to do this and not look back. So I started pushing hard in 2020 around the pandemic time. And it just was a really easy transition, because instead of Instagram, where I was doing just showing carousels and pictures, I went to do video, and video is just a lot easier to show people how to do something instead of trying to
Yes.
chop it up. So yeah.
Yes.
And I wanted to do YouTube as well, not only to help people, but just to have another stream of income, because during the pandemic as well, what happened was Amazon turned off. And so imagine if I only had print on demand and Amazon totally turned off for a month and I didn't have any income coming in from Amazon. And that was kind of scary. So I wanted to make sure that I could have Amazon as well as YouTube and affiliate and sponsored and all of that,
Yes.
so that I have more, so if it does happen again, hopefully it doesn't, that I'm more secure that way instead of,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the power of diversification. Like,
Mhm.
no, never put all your eggs, never
Exactly.
put all your eggs in one basket. Well,
Yeah.
Juna, I just want to say thank you so much for being my first guest
You're welcome.
in this type of arena. Some people know that, this is, that this is my 2025. I hope is my swan song. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna, the format is changing, and there's gonna be a lot more different people here. And
Nice.
I'm glad that Juna could be one of the first people here as we change the platform. And Juna, thank you so much. Tell
You're welcome.
everybody where they can find you and all your socials and all
Yeah.
that good stuff, and your
Cool.
YouTube channel.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in YouTube, Detour Shirts, just like this right here. I'm also on Instagram, Detour Shirts, and X, and I have a Facebook group, Detour Shirts, so you can find me on all those places. Happy to help. I answer all my comments every morning on YouTube, so if you have any question, let me know.
Yeah, he's better than me with that. But I'm getting better. But I'm getting better. But I'm getting better. Juna, thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching. And as always, putting some butter on my shoes and sliding on out the door. Peace. God bless.
Peace. Bye.
T-shirt Help Desk